Me mobi bi akwaba eba Melodies TV so I'm seeing comments me hu ne say mo bebre na mo boefu. Now I'm going to read the comments and then because the story is story bi eba sorry enra no me de ni na bebom na me de amamo. Na for people who don't know enra notice every National Communications Authority ho eka say Asaase radio ene chema Wontumi ne FM station no plus some 60 other radio stations omoeti amra enu hunti ye be shut your down. In fact enra they were shut down. Gabio trader akoba abonten eba be confirm say indeed Asaase radio omo a shut your down. Intina MPP4 esu say hey enya Mahama de oye enya hey inti enra ena His Excellency John Dramani Mahama babema order ema the National Communications Authority said abi e wom say NDC time MPP at the year pro NDC radio station in the name of a year Radio Gold. What you say Radio Gold MPP for the year Radio Gold and pro NDC radio stations. But ono Mahama mbeso besa. Sa Asaase radio ne chema Wontumi ni radio station omo di bone kra na Mahama katre the National Communications Authority and the Ministry of Communications minister no Miami MP Sam George say omoni Asaase radio ne chema Wontumi FM station internase na omo enhwe bone a wo mo edi no na omo nsiesie bone no ne mo nye den emra back inti order His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wo man no and I've told you sa order no and I me hu ne say commenter aba no nkrofo buefu NDC fo buefu say dey na Mahama wo yes but Afenyo Marking obviously not happy into here and ran na MPP for plan some press conference. So yesterday Afenyo Marking was not happy on sa adie we a see and Embra shut down nearby and Afenyo Marking was not happy and I know Kasa or parliament be brave say chairman to me bone be na why and the ntia say omo MPP for na NDC bone kra na the ntia na NDC aba omo so person mu ye binti de bia sa na be kwa na omo sesa na de ndi Kasa be brave Asaase radio for bone ben and the ndi bone ben and the ndi bone ben. Now today we are going to show you documents even during the times of MPP no MPP form rekra no na chairman Wontumi ni radio station no muti amra. But MPP for take action. Inti sende NDC take action nanka kwan so say NDC take action. But nini name no His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say press freedom, media freedom inti no. Yema wo mombra back inti no ebeba. But me person me read Afenyo Marking statement. Me na material document na make ho asem no. Now yen read the Afenyo Marking in some of the betu just say statement on presidential outreach in NCA enforcement action. It is answer Osha press conference and no more person mo ye no. Mahama kasa or the bar bonting ama MPP phone to me and press conference inti Afenyo Marking eba be release press statement. Na yenti ensem woka. Or say the events surrounding the recent directive from the presidency to halt enforcement actions taken by the National Communications Authority represent a brazen assault on the independence of regulatory institutions and set a dangerous precedent that threatens the very foundations of Ghana's constitutional democracy. This is not merely a disagreement over media policy. It constitutes a fundamental breach of a separation of powers that the 1992 Constitution carefully establishes to prevent executive outreach and safeguard institutional autonomy. The NCA, operating within its express statutory mandate, took enforcement actions against 64 radio stations for clear violations of the Electronic Communications Act. These were not arbitrary or capricious decisions, but lawful actions required under the Act. The affected stations were found to be operating without valid authorizations, some for extended periods. Within hours of these enforcement actions, the President issued a directive countermanding the lawful regulatory decision of the authority. In effect, the President has declared that regulatory law is optional when it conflicts with his political preferences. But what is Afenyo Marking saying? What's Afenyo Marking saying? I mean, let me understand. So Afenyo Marking, Emra, you closing down radio stations, no? Or by parliament, Baby Sunye. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama said radio stations now you're closing it down. Mo dia money on kasa no mombra back. Afenyo Marking said dabi National Communications Authority no omo di mraso. Nembre juma no mo ye nti se Mahama ba be ka se yemfa nche omo anate se de Mahama ye no set precedent se obi di bone wo Ghana obetumi aka se ono Mahama de che which Mahama is not having that right. So Afenyo Marking pay right now. What does he want? And you see, what Afenyo Marking is saying, it's right. It is right. But you see, the reason why Afenyo Marking is saying what he's saying right now, and it's when him say, I say, no, you close down radio stations are no mobile Mahama echi. In fact, what happened, Krane say, let me show you something. Okay, send the background on delete ya, if the person has not deleted. Richard Ahiagba of the MPP communication team, as far as we know, he's still the communications director of the MPP, right? Richard Ahiagba. Let me show you. So, Richard Ahiagba, right? Ekraba Bontimba be praise His Excellency John Dramani Mahama over this decision. Or say any good politics. Thumbs up, Mr. President. JDM. Inti Richard Ahiagba was communications director of the MPP krano. Eba be praise His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Inti Afenyo Marking ase ocha U10. Obia no wo complaining. Say there na chema Wontumi ye closing the radio station. Inti Mahama be man directive na wo hu say journalists and other people ebo Mahama abaso no. And the Afenyo Marking asanso aba betene a wo bo Mahama echi say dabi embra. Say embra ne se nkrofo ne diboni adentia na ode eche omo. Hey, na ekosui. Okay, maybe if we are done reading, we understand what Afenyo Marking is trying to say. I say section 2.1 of the Electronic Communications Act is unambiguous. A person shall not operate an electronic communications network or provide an electronic communication service without an authorization from the authority. Regulation 56.1 further mandates that renewal application must be submitted at least 3 months before the expiry of the authorization. Section 73.3 empowers the NCA to issue a cease and desist order, suspend or terminate the license, and take any other action that it considers appropriate. These are not policy suggestions. They are the binding law of the Republic. Nowhere in the Electronic Communications Act or the 1992 Constitution is the President granted the authority to override lawful enforcement decisions by independent regulatory bodies. Parliament deliberately vested such powers in the NCA to insulate technical and regulatory decisions from partisan interference by substituting his own political judgment for that of the authority. The president has violated the core democratic principle that institutions must operate according to law, not executive whim. So, I mean, okay, in TCC and Afenyo Marking say, dear His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wa no wetiambra. Say engrofune dibonia, emran say wo president, obemo mo order. Say omwe dibonia, fachomo. That basically from the first page, that's what Afenyo Marking is trying to say, right? If such overreach is allowed to stand, what prevents future interference with the Bank of Ghana's monetary policy decisions? The Electoral Commission's enforcement actions, the Environmental Protection Agency's regulatory orders, or sanctions issued by the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is how regulatory capture begins. Under the guise of policy justification, institutional independence is dismantled. As while the president claims to be acting in defense of media freedom, his actions undermine the very legal framework that sustains that freedom. True media freedom requires predictable regulatory processes, equal treatment under the law, insulation from political interference, and fidelity to statutory procedure. The president's actions have undermined all four pillars. This same presidency has often invoked the rule of law and the independence of institutions when it suited its interest. Yet, in this instance, it has disregarded both entirely. In light of the above, the following actions are urgently required. 1. A formal condemnation of the President Directive as an unacceptable violation of regulatory independence. Nti o say Mahama ba eba be pacho. Say order wo ma say Asaase radio ene chema Wontumi FM no ma ye close ni down no Mahama be pacho say ono Mahama no woni ho kwan say wo say o masa order no. And this is coming from Afenyo Marking. It is coming from Afenyo Marking. 2. An immediate reversal of the unconstitutional and unlawful executive instruction. 3. A requirement that the affected media houses comply with established statutory procedures. 4. The establishment of clear constitutional boundaries for executive authority in relation to independent regulatory bodies. 5. An investigation into the process that led to this egregious legal and constitutional breach. Defending regulatory independence transcends partisan interest. It is not about supporting or opposing any government, but rather protecting the constitutional framework that preserves Ghana's democracy. Allowing any president to override the legal mandate of a statutory body based on political preference substitutes the rule of law with the rule of men. The question now facing our nation is clear. Will Ghana defend its constitution, or will it stand by as executive power erodes the independence of its institutions? And so this is coming from Afenyo, and I'm really shocked. Said this is coming from Afenyo Marking. So what? He's not happy. Say, two things. Clearly, Afenyo Marking is not happy that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is getting all the praise for not allowing the pro MPP radio stations to shut down. So Afenyo Marking is not happy. Because if you say one day, to me the ayah some class Mahama na de chair when you sanka you closing more radio stations down. So Afenyo Marking is not happy. Say ABNDC for be for politics. What you say? Or 2, secretly Afenyo Marking hates pro MPP radio stations like Asaase Radio and Wontumi. Because ena matre or no. Richard Ahiagba wa ye MPP no praise Mahama say Mahama dia wa ye na ya de pa. But Afenyo Marking e say dabi. Mahama dia wa ye no. And you see the funny thing they say Afenyo Marking Obi say, I'll read comments and then you see what people are telling Afenyo Marking. Obi say a lot of people are shocked that Afenyo Marking will send this message. Let me just quote this and tell him say, did I just, is it me I'm quoting this. I'm quoting this and I'm saying this. Is it just me? Where do you stand? I'm quoting this and I'm saying, say, because I really don't understand this statement Afenyo Marking is bringing out right now. I really don't understand. The double standards is funny. You don't want the radio stations to be closed down. And Brian can't say you're closing it down. Who soon said Diana NDC 4 years. So is it that Afenyo Marking plan a press conference? Ambassador and the for Robert same way now. Because you're closing it down in Parliament, you were angry. You are not happy say you're closing it down. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Baba reverting and so on. Say Anne, didn't Mahama will close here the down or reverting say NCA4 close radio stations ne down. NCA4 no to me, ya mom rana momu to me so mo close radio stations down. It is somewhere closing it down. Mahama to me ben awa would catch NCA4 ne say mama radio stations name back. So I seriously don't understand the stance of Afenyo Marking. Seriously, maintenance. So it looks like send ya no person ye dey ade na politics no. Wenya inti afi wo bo Mahama echi. But Material Richard Ahiagba and other MPP for our mobile Mahama baso. The funny thing, and you see the double standard is that ye ni ayeti krom ha. And at the same Afenyo Marking. Eba be catch ye say MPP time no mo person mo prosecute NDC for MPs bia no mo akwa double salary. Afenyo Marking asomo be catch Ghana for no. Say MPP time no mo person mo prosecute NDC politicians via no mo akwa double salaries. Afenyo Marking say omo am prosecute omo because omo MPP for pa President Akufo-Addo Chow and odi assembly chair. And the Afenyo Marking na try and say adia Mahama wa ye na trese wo tiamra because to me embrama NCA to me say wo mbo ejuma de ntia na Mahama ono de nepe ka se mo ye na trese Mahama ne person chese no bro Ghana mra. Inti Afenyo Marking nso the same thing ye beka atrel. Sa asem na ya wo ka no. Say MPP for na mo pese mo prosecute NDC for wo mkoje double salary na. Mo pa President Akufo-Addo twa wo de chair NDC for no. Question na ye bisa wo Afenyo Marking so say President Akufo-Addo na to me be na no wo. Say na on Ghana mra nye ejuma. So you see the double standards. You see the double standards. You see the double standards. But we are going to look through, we are going to read comments and see what Ghanaians are saying, because we are this level of double standards, I don't know. This level of double standards, I've not seen some before. Obi say, you can tell Asaase Radio, Wontumi Radio, and what have you to disregard the president's order and remain shut down until they fully observe the NCA sanctions imposed on them if they share in your contrived thinking. Well, we will give your sanctimonious statement a pinch of relevance. Until then, keep yammering like a child whose mother has fed him lunch. Berate MOCDTI and NCA in Parliament, rants on President on X. Uye Cobra, into Obia Sama Okanono. Obo NCA wa Parliament, Oba social media, Oba Bo Mahamechi, into all the any day. O Afenyo Marking, o dear any day. Obi say, Obia Babe posti a picture of Afenyo Marking na a video of Afenyo Marking. I can't play the video. Move on, chame. Obia Babe posted the video of Afenyo Marking and not all NDC so more close radio station that. Inti ne bakono ebisa. I say, calm down from your high horse and embrace reality. You are in opposition and have lost the well wishes of the people. It's about time you come into reality with it. The pain your government caused the people, the wounds are still fresh. Therefore, don't assume you caught our sympathy. Obi say, ye concert, sir, what kind of leader are you? Ose Masa, get out there. What statement? You were on the floor crying for Wontumi. Now the man has heard your cry too. You want to complain. And no Obi cannot. You are crying. You were on Parliament crying for Wontumi. And Mahama de Moboni Ache unso a obe bonechi. I say, I am really surprised at your double standard, say. You were on the floor of Parliament lamenting, yet here you are saying a totally different thing. Political leaders only speak when it is in their favor, and you just manifested it just now. Your comments would have been different if or say make who read, or say solid leadership, or say so which is which. Your debate arguments in the plenary or this. Or say asemo, being in minority, my advice is that you are rushing and the people will be tired of you very soon. Allow the NDC to make mistakes and come in after a year. You left power in just 6 months ago. You have nothing better to offer now. Obviously, noise pollution. Or say, so you are literally telling us Sam George was right to suspend all these stations. Basically, that's what Afenyo Marking is saying. That's what I say. And I mean, Afenyo Marking, anyway, he has really confused us. Some of us, Afenyo Marking has confused us. Like, seriously. So, now, let me see whether I'll see a story. Afenyo Marking on Asaase Radio shutdown. Speaks on Asaase Radio and Wontumi FM. Let's see, because I don't know. There's no article on that. Obianyantro article and found. Obianyantro article and found, but this double standard from Afenyo Marking is shocking. But you see, let's look at documents a threat from 2022. A threat say even during MPP time, no, na Wontumi FM they were supposed to be shut down, but because Chairman Wontumi no MPP ni MPP for Wontumi and shutting it down. And let's read this document. Now I'll say National Communications Authority Ghana. 21st December 2022. The managing director, Wontumi Multimedia Company Limited. Inti, I said, dear sir, violation of conditions of authorization. I said, we refer to the inspection conducted at the FM broadcasting premises of Wontumi Multimedia Company Limited at Kokomlemle, Accra, in the Greater Accra region on 14th June 2022. The inspection revealed the following lapses in the setup and operations of Wontumi Multimedia Company Limited. 1. The station's transmission system was located at Accra Newtown instead of Ajangote, or within a 5-kilometer radius from Ajangote, as required by condition 3 of your authorization dated 26 October 2021. Naturally said, in 2022, document which say Chairman Wontumi radio station or location in wrong. Baby, our Babaji license say the airman location and your radio station or the Akobe before fraud, which is a total violation. Unim. The entire Moya Sande say, and you see, Obia Waye Juma Ewo baby omo dealing with a year coverage area. You understand what I'm saying? Me 2014 na me ye Juma Ewo ECG. Na me wo ECG IT office. Right? Yeah, na sa time na prepaid. What you say? Aba fresh. I mean prepaid by before 2014. Yeah, but yeah na ye set it up. Once or more we beton okoto prepaid ni free omo home beton amount no. Aha. Me office no. And at the whole Tema region, including Adan, Afenyo, Bebia, events in Sakumono, Nungwa, all those places, and all of Tema. Obiana or Tom prepaid biayana na ye set your app. Meme office and ye set your app. Into every day ni ye ching. Now, one of the requirements, because na ya nkrofoba say omo pesi ye set your app no mo Tom prepaid no. Now prepaid ni ye set your app a coverage. They have to log on. So omo person moton prepaid now, they have to log on to a ECG, your network no. Now omo they are ton prepaid no. What you say? Inti prepaid no so omo ba no mo ba be siki say yempe prepaid ni mo omo yembe set omo app no mo ton prepaid na. Na one of the requirements and they say ye making sure say in a certain area now omo wono obi ani ho awoton bi. In certain a distance. What you say? At least 5 kilometers bi. Obi ni sa area ni ho awoton bi. Inti obi a wonim say sa radio coverage ni sa coverage areas ni nyina no enyama e deal with sa de ni na sa nete. Inti radio station bia no sebe in a coverage area no e was say e kwan edem. Inti radio station bi wa ha untumi man be si radio station bi won chen sa akeke e was say kwan edem. Inti wo hwa chairman untumi ne de na baby a oje ye na ana baby a wo de buy say aha na me si radio station no a ye hwe ye de man license no enye ho na oye wo koye wo baby foforo a violate sambra no intina ke ni kwan kra say in 2022 no chema Wontumi ni radio station ne kra no existed. I said there was no fire certificate from the Ghana National Fire Service. Another one and say it was a wunya certificate from Ghana National Fire Service. Inti fire service for be check it. Akwa say who see dan wo Ghana ha. A lot of people don't know this, but who see dan wo Ghana ha. Answer na wo beje kanea, wo beje meter no. E wo say Yema Energy Commission. E ba be check wiring na wire no. Ni ehun say wiring na wiring pa. Eja entom wires a wo use ye wires pa. Answer na Yema ECG ama meter. Inti omo aya na wo mu mfi sa de no koye illegal no. Obonza at the end of the day na asem akosi. Inti sa usi radio station in so a e was a fire service for eba be check it ehun ne say o building no or exit points sabi obi anka say eja ntom na so eja kotomu a enkrofo betumi afa ha pie eja kotomu a de ebesini eja kotomu a say ana say o certificate what ya say san nyama no inti ye be check it chema Wontumi ni radio station oni san nyama no ni fire certificate. And then 3, there was no permit from the Environmental Protection Agency approving the installation of the mast. Radio station bia e use mast. I don't know the coverage no. Ye can master. Sa port tintin, sa Vodafone 4 port tintin no. Sa na meka obeti ase. Na answer na sa mast no e radioactive. E waves. Inti se ye besi mast no e wo area bia e wo se ye ba be check se enko se ham to obia. Inti ye ba be check Chairman Wontumi no. Mast na wesi no. Ya mano Environmental Protection Agency for mano approval say won't see side na wakwakosi. Na say all the essential things that would be radio stations ni no na enkai. And this letter dated 2022 shows clearly say Chairman Wontumi etiamra. As Wontumi Multimedia Company Limited is hereby directed to rectify the above anomalies within 90 days from the date of this letter, i.e. by 20th March 2022, and invites the National Communications Authority for a second inspection. Please be informed that the cost of the second inspection amounting to 2,000 Ghana cedis shall be borne by Wontumi Multimedia Company Limited. Please take note that the issuance of a test transmission authorization for Wontumi Multimedia Company Limited to commence operating its FM broadcasting station in Accra is pending compliance with the above. Yours faithfully, Enebohono. Inti these letters, inti in 2023, in 2022, any trauma Chairman Wontumi say with Yambra, inti one onye ye. In 2023, any sanso trauma and say violation of conditions of authorization. Inti 2022 dia na yetroko man no omo hwa no Chairman Wontumi wendi so inti 2023 yesanso troko man Chairman Wontumi say aden na wo no waso odin sa aden na wo violate sa inti me read the 2023 no as we refer to the inspection conducted at the FM broadcasting premises of Wontumi Multimedia Company Limited at Kokomlemle, Accra in the Greater Accra region on 14th June 2022. The inspection revealed the following lapses in the setup and operations of Wontumi Multimedia Company Limited. The station's transmission system was located at Accra New Town instead of Ajang. Into here, the same issues are raised here in 2022. No, those were the same issues I Sansube raised here in 2023. Not to say, yade adiene ba Chairman Wontumi yade breno 2022 no when fimpo. When National Communications Authority no, and you see National Communications Authority no in 90 days. Into her time I want trust our letter yi. I want the bread Chairman Wontumi 21st December 2022. Into 22nd February 2023. And I'm so true letter no kokoma Chairman Wontumi. Not just say clearly no, Chairman Wontumi was not doing anything about it. Clearly, Chairman Wontumi was not doing anything about it. And I mean, all that. What you say? It's in the natural say, Chairman Wontumi radio station, they didn't really deserve any pardon. But you see, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama kwa ye MPP for Papa. Emma Afenyo Marking episode original so Edibonechi. Now, let's read comments. Melodies Ebusian for. Let's read comments and see what Melodies Ebusian for can embrace. Excellency John Dramani Mahama Diomo Bone Chomo. As a good man in Melodies, don't forget a day that Roaring says something nice about this gentleman who is our president. Rollins. Rollins says something great about this man, but Ghanaians and politics, we couldn't see that vision. And if we foster simplicity, say Asaase Dunketia must be our next flag bearer. Salah say, when you know who you are and what is ahead of you, you will not be jealous those under you. President John Dramani Mahama knows who he is, so he don't envy anyone. And I know God Almighty is with him. President John Dramani Mahama will be forever great. Even the devil knows President Mahama is a good person. And if you Chris, or say, Mr. President, this is a stab in the back of your own NDC members, supporters, and followers. You have stabbed them in the back big time. People are angry for your order to have those stations restored and are disappointed in you. Emmanuel say, please, 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 allow your minister you appointed to do their work. If you are going to intervene in any decisions they deem fit to take, then you might as well take them off the position and run all the ministries from Flagstaff Jubilee House. Why appointed incompetent ministers? Please stop doing what you did. That sent us NDC to opposition in 2016. Leave your ministers alone to do their job. Please and please. Ghanaians are so angry. They won't take that from you again. Listen, I was supporting me supporting His Excellency John Dramani Mahama showing compassion, but Afenyo Marking adia wa baba ya no pe kra ama me buefu mo. Ama me buefu. Ah. Udi ni pe chi a o. Onya papa o. As the media freedom is what Mahama is protecting. As the media freedom is what Mahama is protecting. And no free Abdul enti Yemane Ridi Yuma Wuni. Harrison say, Mahama, Ghanaians are serious. You better shut up and let the law work. I say, Mahama, ma'am, Ranye Juma. I say, Mahama, are you all right? Let the law work. Hey, Charlie. The truth must be told, say, this father for all system is not going to work, oh, JDM. Harrison said, Kevin Taylor will sort you out. No wonder Wontumi and Asaase TV radio said you stolen the state money to buy properties in Dubai. Kwame say, I will resign if I were Sam George. Mahama will be in the way of oral. The truth must be told. The JDM is Osaje for the second. Harrison said, Mahama, you have to be careful. We will demonstrate against you. This nonsense must stop. Kwame say, no. Allow them to do what work. Mahama will not allow oral to work. Harry Utumu said, Nipakra adi we ashe nepa ye Harrison because the comment or deba na say, Mahama, look, we Ghanaians will come after you. Harrison said, Mahama should let the law work. What nonsense is this? Mahama, why? Osman say, same way Ken Ufoyata will be forgiven. Mahama, pan. Rob said, I thought Mahama said he wasn't going to interfere in the works of the law. So why? Leaders are not weak and soft. Deborah say, John Mahama, no. These radio stations must be shut down for at least a year. Mr. President, are you going to pardon the MPP thieves and looters? Apia say, I am not happy about the President's Mahama decision because Ghana need money to build factories for the youth. Way every yawo or say, if you be a president, you must learn a lot. It does not depend on your tribe and where you come from. Tinat say, Mahama, too much of everything is very bad. Tinat Williams say, to be honest, Mahama is making things difficult for NDC communicators. I'm not happy at all. Mr. say, Mr. President should be a little hard on MPP criminals. Apia say, President Mahama, please stop father for all syndrome and fight for the country, not MPP. Mr. Chero say, Samjo sent them a notice about 2 months ago. I support Samjo 200%. Mahama should have not stepped in. These MPP people are animals and will stop at nothing to paint the president black. And there, Afenyo Marking, Papa Mahama aye, Afenyo Marking mane luki se Mahama edi bone. Untre mwa your comment box ni momedase.